So our topic is latitudes. Latitude is the word, comes from the Latin word latitudo. It comes from the Latin word. It's a Latin word which means the width. The horizontal lines on the globe or 180 in number. It means latitudes are 180 in number excluding the 0 degrees equator, and this 0 degrees equator is the longest latitude among all the 180 latitudes. And when we move from the equator towards the poles, the width of the latitudes will reduces. So at the edge of the North Pole, the point at the 90 degrees it has shown as point. It means here the latitude 90 degrees latitude, it is not a circle, it is just a point, and vice versa at the South Pole also it is just a point. And the latitude are also divided into different latitudes. It means we have important latitudes, we have different names for the latitudes to identify the time zones. 0 degrees equator, and this is 23.5 degrees N. So everything we have to mention. It means if the latitude belongs to the northern hemisphere, it should be mentioned as N. If the latitude belongs to the southern hemisphere, it should be mentioned with S. So the equator divides the earth into two equal parts, that is the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. So we are indicating the latitude of the northern hemisphere with N and the southern hemisphere with S. So here one more latitude very important, that is 66.5 degrees N, and here 66 degrees and a half degrees S, and here is the 90 degrees and here 90 degrees. So the 23.5 degrees of the northern hemisphere latitude is called as Tropic of Cancer. 66.5 degrees latitude of the northern hemisphere is called as Arctic Circle, and 23.5 degrees latitude of the southern hemisphere, it is called as Tropic of Capricorn, and 66.5 degrees latitude in the southern hemisphere, it is called as Antarctic Circle. And we have 90 degrees South Pole and 90 degrees in the northern hemisphere North Pole. So these are the important latitudes we have named. And what is the need of giving names to the particulars at a certain degrees? It means here to know the climate of a place on the earth, the geographers have given different names to the different latitudes. So on the basis of the latitudes, the earth has divided into 3 climatic zones. So this zone, it means from the 0 degrees equator and Tropic of Cancer 23.5 degrees, and in the southern hemisphere 23.5 degrees Tropic of Cancer, this place we call as the torrid zone. And the region and the area from the 23.5 degrees Tropic of Cancer to 66.5 degrees Arctic Circle, this zone we call as temperate zone. Here also same, the region between the 23.5 degrees Tropic of Capricorn to Antarctic Circle 66.5 degrees, it is called as temperate zone, and the region here it is called as freeze zone. It is from the 66.5 degrees to the North Pole 90 degrees. This region we named as freezer zone, and here the climate will be very cold. Cold climate we can see here. Here also same in the southern hemisphere, the region from the 66.5 degrees Antarctic Circle to the 90 degrees South Pole, it is called as freezer zone, and here also we can see a cold climate. And coming to the temperate zone, the climate will be it means it is a temperate climate, moderate climate, not very hot and not very cold. Temperate climate we used to have here. And coming to the torrid zone, it is the hottest place on the earth, and this climate on the earth will depends on the angle of incident. What is this angle of incident? We have learned in the 8th class. It means the zones of the earth have been divided on the basis of the heat received by the earth from the sun. So, near the equator, the rays falls directly on the earth. So, the angle of the incident will be very less, and this place will be very hot. It means it is very close to the sun, and the angle of incident is very less, that is why, and it receives the the angle of incident is very less here, and it receives more heat from the sun in this zone, that is why it is named as torrid zone. And coming to the next zone, temperate zone, the angle of incident will increase here and the receiving of heat will decrease. So, here the climate will be moderate, and coming to the freezer zone, the angle of incident is more here, that is why it receives very less amount of heat. So, it is a freezer zone. So, these are the importance of latitudes, and latitudes helps us to know the climatic condition of a place. And we learned there are 180 latitudes excluding the equator, very important. So, here we have the different names for the latitudes, and we will show the latitudes in degrees, minutes and seconds also. For example, to locate the India, we have the degrees, it means the longitudes location, latitudes location, sorry. To locate the India's latitude, we call as 8 degrees 4 minutes, 37 degrees 6 minutes, and the next topic we will discuss about the longitudes. In that, longitudes will be mentioned in India's location as 97 degrees 25 minutes, 68 degrees 7 minutes. So, we locate the latitudes and longitudes both as degrees, minutes and seconds.